Great to have you with us. It is 3:35 and we're getting so close to finding out what today's secret temperature is. If you just tuned in and have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, one Dubai Eye listener tomorrow, Friday, is going to be winning a Quooker tap worth 15,000 dirhams. From one tap, you can get chilled sparkling water, chilled still water, and instant boiling water for your cuppa or your pasta. As you can hear from my enthusiasm, I really, really want to win it, but I can't. You can, though. You could be today's finalist. We're playing Hotter and Colder. So every day this week, I'm choosing a mystery temperature. And through your guesses on 4001, we are narrowing it down. Sol has been in touch. My guess is 87 degrees. It is hotter than that. But Suzanne's guessed 97. Suzanne, it is colder than that. And that is the last clue you are getting from me. We're picking a winner to be today's finalist just before 4 o'clock. So your guess and your name, pop that over 4001. And yeah, tomorrow could be your lucky day.
This is Eye on Education on Dubai Eye 103.8.
Sponsored by Horizon International School, a supportive, student-focused international community school offering premium quality British education for boys and girls from the ages of 3 to 18.
Have you ever watched your child flick from YouTube to gaming, to TikTok, to TV, maybe while talking to you at the same time, but maybe saying they're bored as well? You might have wondered, are attention spans changing? Teachers around the world say that children are growing up in a very different sensory environment from previous generations. There's these, fast-paced videos, instant entertainment, constant digital stimulation, and I guess just a different way of consuming information, and it could be impacting how they focus, learn and interact. So Chantelle Phillips is with us today, Behaviour and Wellbeing Teacher at Ranches Primary School, to talk a little bit about what's going on and can we course correct? Because that was Banu's question, which we'll come to in a minute. Chantelle, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm worried about my attention span, to be completely honest. I don't think it's just kids that are being affected by kind of the modern world impacting our ancient brains. Mine's in the toilet in the last few years. I mean, really appalling. I saw a quote the other day, which was, watching TV without your phone is the new reading. And I laughed and I went, yeah, that feels about right. Have you noticed it in yourself? And of course, the children, what we're talking about today, but I don't think anyone's immune, do you?
No, I think if you have a phone, then you're definitely a part of that percentage. I think we're all the same. I definitely sit and watch TV, but when the advert comes on, I'll go straight to my phone.
Same. It's going to be a very compelling show for me to, not even notice that my phone's not next to me. And as I said, lots of kids are exposed to YouTube shorts, digital content, often from toddlerhood. How do you think that's shaping the way that they engage with learning once they arrive in school?
I think it's about balance. I think technology is great, but it's about, I think as adults, we can know when to put it down, what's right, what's false information, what's true information, and we can sort of navigate that. And I think children, like anything, needs to be taught those skills. So it's about the balance of being able to know when to use it, when not to use it, what to use, why they're using it, and to be able to decipher through that information that they're getting at such a fast pace.
It is. That's a really hard part of parenting, isn't it? That sometimes, the best thing is keeping them safe, and that means no, and that means enough, or not this, or too much. And then, listen, I think every parent today, with few exceptions, we've all used, iPads or phones or TVs as a way of keeping our kids entertained and occupied. Well, maybe we've got other stuff to do. And listen, we're all human. But I think what's interesting is the content has changed so much in the last few, I want to say generations, but really the last few years. All of these streaming platforms, all these content creators are just giving us these like short form dopamine hits. And the idea of things being slow, it's just not enough to stimulate the brains. And Banu's saying, my son constantly watches short form videos, like Reels, TikToks, Shorts, and says now longer movies and books are, quote, too slow and boring. Is there a way to gently reverse that? I'd love to know the answer. What do you think, Chantelle?
I don't have the answer.
Oh.
However, I'm sorry. I think the most important thing is balance, but I also think that a lot of parents will complain and try and find a solution for this, but it's about routine. So making sure that they have a routine in place, that they allow them to be able to have other opportunities to do other things that is exciting for them. Like, for instance, in school, we have lots of ECAs, after school clubs, that give them opportunities to find things that they are really interested in that doesn't require technology. So some arts, music, physical activity. I think it's good for them to find, oh, I'm also interested in this. But in order for them to find that, we need to be able to offer them different opportunities to do that. So I think as parents, we should be encouraging those things, but showing them how to do those things. And I think we've got to give them, show them that we're not always on our technology. We can't tell them to think.
Yeah.
We're opposite.
I often say to our daughters, you're never going to have the best day of your life on the iPad, and they kind of give me a bit of grief and roll their eyes. And then, but you're absolutely right. You've got to offer an alternative that's more compelling than passive viewing, and that's not always going to be possible. But whether it is going out on their scooter or playing a game with them or suggesting something that's fun, but we can't say to our kids, get off your iPad, you've watched enough TV, if we're sitting there, as you say, perhaps not role modelling, not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. You're obviously working within the school at Ranches Primary there, Chantelle. Do you think teachers are genuinely noticing a difference in kids' ability to focus and sustain attention during lessons? Have you heard that from your colleagues who've perhaps been in education for a long time?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in education for over 15 years, and I can definitely see a difference. My background is wellbeing, so a lot of the children that I work with is for things like focus, building up that resilience, and also making sure that they're engaged. So I think that's a real problem, but I think teachers navigate it really well, and we adapt accordingly. So they'll do things like, within a lesson that may be 40 to 50 minutes, they'll chunk that lesson, so it's not just, it doesn't feel like it's the same pace at the whole time. They'll bring in different resources, some hands-on things, but there is also a space for us not to give in to fast-paced things. We want to also teach them the resilience. So there are some lessons that lend themselves to not use technology, and that's important for them to see that side as well, because if they don't practice it, then they're not going to get used to it.
Absolutely. So, it's like use it or lose it. This is idea of you're needing more dopamine, you're needing more hits that, kind of actually, if we do have a bit of a dopamine reset, it's a use it or lose it. The brain atrophies, in terms of its ability to concentrate. And we need to train it in a way. And I'm talking about myself as well as any kid. But an interesting point in the text line here, Chantelle, saying, is there a correlation between increasing technology in the classroom and a children's decreasing lack of attention? So why are we increasing the amount of technology in classrooms? And that's a conversation we've had in terms of the constant gamification of lessons, of do this quiz, win this prize, click this, ding, 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 ding. And when we've spoken to, Cognitive Digital team, it's about making every click count, about judging the merits of why a screen or a platform or technology is being used in the classroom for genuine reasons, not as a default or to be able to say we've got iPads and we've got technology and we're using AI for 5-year-olds. So when you think about, as you say, making sure there's an element of staying current and using technology where it counts, but also having those slower paced lessons that are more analog and more human driven, it's got to be really, really well thought out. Chantelle, I want to keep you with us because I want to ask about boredom, and I'm asking not just in the classroom, but obviously we've got Eid break coming up as well. So I think we need a bit of permission to not constantly stimulate or occupy our kids. So that's what we're talking about next. With us from Ranches Primary, Chantelle Phillips. If you've got any questions, comments, experiences to share, you can get us on 4001.
Dubai Eye 103.8's weather check.
It's mainly sunny.
This is Afternoons with Helen Farmer on Dubai Eye 103.8.
Join the conversation.
I'm with you till 4 o'clock, and then of course it is the debrief taking you through. They're all in the green room now. And they're going to be talking about surnames. So if you are a woman who got married, did you take your husband's name? Have you put your names together? Gentlemen, would you consider taking your wife's name? Let them know on 4001.
This is Eye on Education on Dubai Eye 103.8.
Sponsored by Horizon International School, a supportive, student-focused international community school offering premium quality British education for boys and girls from the ages of 3 to 18.
Talking attention, because it's become one of the biggest parenting and education conversations of modern childhood. And then you've got the platforms who are saying we're not competing with each other for your attention, we're competing with sleep. We are juggling devices, schools are integrating tech into learning. And yeah, kids are just growing up in a world designed to constantly compete for their focus. Chantelle Phillips is with us today from Ranches Primary School, and I want to talk about boredom and why it's quite good sometimes, Chantelle. We've got the Eid break coming up. How is boredom still important for kids? Because us as parents, we feel this pressure to constantly stimulate, to occupy, to take them places, throw money at things, buy toys, and that doesn't sound like it's really serving them. So can we talk about the pros of boredom, please?
I think people see boredom as two different things. So for me, boredom is I'm not doing anything. Whereas I think most children would be boredom is I'm not doing something high energy. So I think it's about, again, having that balance of maybe at the beginning, like on Sunday, for example, as a family, you sit down and you come up with 10 selections of like calm activities, which could be reading, it could be, just in your room doing a puzzle or playing a board game of some kind. So something that's a bit calmer. So having a selection of calm activities and then also having a selection of more high energy, fast paced activities and doing a bit of a pick and mix between those. And it might be that you pick a mix during one day or throughout the whole week. You have like one day that's just going to be a calm day and one day where you're going to actually go and do an actual activity where you're getting up and...
I don't want to shame my parents, Chantelle, and I don't think they're listening. And I'm certainly not romanticising my childhood. But I do think back to, when I was growing up, weekends were not about us being constantly entertained as kids. It was, I'm not even joking, it was like, right, we're all going to go to the supermarket, we'll go and see your grandma, we'll go to church, we might go for a walk in the woods. And then I think about my kids are going, oh, Mum, can we go to Yas Waterworld? Oh, Mum, can we go to Ollie Ollie? Oh, and I'm like, listen, there is not an exhaustive fund to keep you entertained. Also, we've got life stuff to do. I'm not spending my whole weekend, keeping you buzzing. So, yeah, we're going to go to the garden centre this weekend. And you know what? They probably will enjoy it, to be honest. You mentioned reading there, Chantelle, and I think it is often described as one of the best ways to build concentration, obviously imagination. When it comes to reading with our kids, what kind of emotional regulation do you see and how that improves relationships and winding down? And how can we incorporate it into our lives as families with your kind of well-being hat on?
I think, I'll be perfectly honest, when I was younger, I found getting into a book quite difficult. So I have the understanding that some children find it difficult to read for joy. And I have a love for reading. However, it's a really important skill just for everyday life and the way you articulate yourself. Like you said, building up that imagination. I think it's important for children to understand that reading is not just, the simple fiction or non-fiction. There's lots of different genres of reading, so they can find something that they really enjoy and have a read of that. It might be a comic book. There's lots of different varieties, and I think you can combine the both with technology and go for an audio book. I know in school they have lots of readings on apps and things like that. So it's trying to find, again, the balance, but also trying to find different things to read and different ways to incorporate that into everyday life. And it works different for everyone. Some people enjoy doing the reading at nighttime for their children. Some children enjoy reading alone. So you can do like a bit of a mix and match or find what suits your family or your child.
Lastly, looking ahead, when we think about a world that is going to be probably even more full of distractions. What else can we be doing aside from reading and allow a bit of boredom? You know, simple routines at home that might support attention span or focus in younger kids as well, that we can work on. Maybe it is through the Eid break, but maybe just incorporate on an ongoing basis, Chantelle.
I think you hit the nail on the head. You said routine. I think in school, the reason why it works, I mean, some children are in a class with 20 children, let's say, and it works because there's structure in place and there's routine. And as much as children might complain about that, they thrive off of it. So I think doing the same at home, where you've got a routine that, you know, you all wake up at a certain time and they know that, and they would do that for school. So continuing that throughout the Eid break, making sure that there's, you know, a bedtime. Maybe on a Friday they get to go to bed a little bit later. Making sure you do that as well. Making sure maybe you have a time ready for like having dinner or taking a shower. So making sure that there's key points in the day where they can have that reset, and making sure that you follow some sort of routine. And routines change, but giving the heads up that, you know, I know we was meant to do this today, but we're going to move it, and giving them the reason why. It just allows them to be able to have an understanding of what's going on, and they can prepare themselves for that. And whether that means, you know, psyching themselves up for something, or the opposite, bringing themselves down and being like, okay, we're going to do something a little bit calmer now.
Thank you, Chantelle. Massively appreciate it. Have a wonderful Eid break. I know everyone in schools have deserved it, so enjoy yourself. Time to pick a winner. We've been asking you to guess the mystery temperature. The first person to guess it, and it was 91 degrees today, was Jessie. So you're today's finalist. Another chance to win tomorrow. It is Friday, so we're going to be talking food, meeting two amazing chefs under Chef Jason Atherton. We've got Daniel Burke and Nathan Dawes joining us, and diving into dumplings, meeting a world award-winning vegetarian chef, and finding out more about a mini-series developed by a Japanese restaurant. That's all coming up from 1 o'clock. Have a wonderful evening, and leaving with a debrief.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
Your home of news, business,